On a recent frosty morning in Mexico's mountainous state of Puebla, detectives stumbled on a suspicious sight: men pumping oil into a waiting truck. They quickly learned the men were stealing crude from this major pipeline using this hose. They had a whopping 5,000 gallons in their truck. And worst of all, the alleged thieves turned out to be municipal policemen. Mexico's state-owned oil monopoly, Pemex, is suffering from increasing theft of its black gold as the country struggles with a breakdown in law and order. In 2010, Pemex reported 712 cases of oil theft, a five-fold increase compared to 2005. In many instances, authorities believe that Mexico's feared drug cartels may be the culprits.
El robo de combustibles desgraciadamente es un problema es un problema grave para Pemex. La tecnología existe para detectar estas tomas, para detectar también cualquier incidente en los ductos. Sin embargo, como ustedes ven, estas tomas son muy sofisticadas, son bandas organizadas, sofisticadas, con conocimiento en la operación.
Pemex officials say they are getting better at stopping thieves and estimate the stolen oil accounts for less than 1% of the company's total output. But top energy analyst David Shields believes the problem is much greater.
Well, I think what we're seeing in Mexico is an illegal fuel market that is worth between $2 billion and $4 billion per year. And that really is a very big deal for Mexico in terms of fiscal revenue that is being lost. Different kinds of oil and gas, different kinds of hydrocarbons are being stolen from pipelines. Sometimes it's high quality gasoline, sometimes it's just crude oil. But crude oil can be sold as a fuel, as a substitute for fuel oil to many kinds of businesses in Mexico. And the fuels are being stolen because there's a market for them.
Sometimes stolen gas is offered on the street. Other times it is actually sold by middlemen to legitimate gas stations, and it is even sold north of the border to oil tycoons in the United States. The big money in the illegal oil business adds to the flames of the Mexican drug war that claimed 15,000 lives last year. Drug enforcement agents say that when cartels resort to oil theft, it shows they're getting desperate. But others argue Mexican police are simply too overwhelmed.
They are so involved in other matters related to fighting crime, which has to do with assassinations and whole towns being controlled by drug cartels. Compared to that, apparently the illicit fuel business doesn't seem such a big threat, or doesn't seem such a big deal. So I think the government has failed to realize that it has to act more strenuously on this.
Stealing from these pipelines is highly dangerous. Pemex officials believe that in December 2010, an attempted robbery on this major duct in Puebla caused an oil leak that triggered an explosion and sent fireballs down the street of the nearby town San Martin Texmelucan. Resident Oscar Quiros was woken up that morning by the sound of fire and screams. After saving his family, he fought through flames to try and rescue his neighbors.
Y aquí quedó mi vecina con sus dos niñas. Lo único que pudimos salvar, poder recoger ahí, fueron puras cenizas nada más. Me le metí a la señora, la cargué y me la eché al cuerpo. Y me la llevé hasta dejarla a salvo a la señora. De ahí regreso, su esposo, igualmente ya estaba quemándose su esposo con los niños a un lado.
This whole incident really underlines the destructive power of oil, because as residents here have been explaining, the oil came flowing down here and then exploded, causing 30-meter high flames at about 1,000 degrees centigrade, and all the houses around here were completely incinerated.
A total of 30 people died on that December morning. Without proper policing and a more effective crackdown on cartels, Mexico might find itself not just with a drug problem, but with an oil crisis as well. On location in San Martin Texmelucan, this is Johan Grillo for Global Post.